Welcome everybody out to podcast number 454. In this one, we're going to talk about roadblock removal. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. This is a continuation of our production control, schedule control, and Takt control podcast series, this little 6-part series, and I hope you're enjoying it. And we're going to talk right away about roadblock removal. Now, there are 6 main categories in this one for roadblock removal, and I'll attempt to get them in a really good order here. So, using buffers. In order for us to have a really good Takt plan and to do things really well, we have to use buffers. Number 2, we have to see deviations in order to even use those buffers. We see deviations by using our make-ready lookahead schedules. And we also see those deviations by using our roadblock maps. And we manage and make sure that we don't even have to get to the point of using buffers by removing roadblocks before they even happen. And then if we do have to use them, whether we have to use them or not, we constantly manage buffers. So there's a couple of key considerations to this one. Let me go through each of these one by one. So roadblock removal is key. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If I was the industry's parent, meaning if I was the construction industry's like dad, I would put it on restriction from using percent plan complete until the entire industry had an amazing roadblock removal system, meaning it was visual. Everybody used it every day. People were fanatical about it. They talked about it just as much as people talk about PPC. I would put the entire industry on restriction because we have no business talking about percent plan complete until we have a fanatical and effective roadblock removal system. And so let's talk about the details of this. If we have a fanatical roadblock removal system, a part of that is that we use buffers. So we've talked about this before, why a 5-day Takt time might not be working for your project and it might be holding you up. If you're stuck between the weekends and a 5-day Takt time, it could be giving you a lot of trouble because you're not allowed to, or you're not able to quickly eat into buffers. But if you're on a different Takt time and you weren't constrained to the weekends, then if an interruption happened, you can shift the entire schedule together in sync by one day and eat into those buffers. So Takt planning, and I love this quote. I'm actually going to write this on the board as I'm doing this. Takt planning, and we've said this before, allows you, or the Takt plan itself allows you to see roadblocks, okay, remove roadblocks, and absorb roadblocks. And let me talk about that just really quickly. So when your Takt plan allows you to see roadblocks, it's because it acts, or it happens, or it repeats on a consistent basis, meaning there's some repetition to it. So when we commit our trade partners to these schedules, and when we have these detailed work steps and these work packages, this work happens frequently. It's predictable. It's visual. It's on a visual schedule. And so when workers and foremen see a lack of materials, an RFI in the way, a problem, a coordination issue, or whatever, their brain more easily connects the fact that they have a roadblock because they can actually see the plan. So Takt plans allow you to see roadblocks easier. Now, remove roadblocks, it's because the team isn't bogged down always talking about when something's going to happen. They talk about how they're going to make it happen. And they're farther ahead of the work with Takt planning because the team is balanced. And they're not burdened creating a schedule and managing a schedule 80% of their days. And then Takt plans allow you to absorb roadblocks because it is an agile system. Whether people think it is or not, Takt planning allows you to create buffers and use buffers to absorb roadblocks. And so that's why I love the system. It's an agile system, right? Last Planner, for the most part, is an agile system. Scrum is an agile system. Takt planning is an agile system. CPM is not an agile system. So Takt plan allows you to see, remove, and absorb roadblocks. And so we do that by using buffers. Number two, we have to be able in our roadblock removal system to be able to see deviations. That could be deviations from how we're going to do work. That could be deviations from the quality of work. That could be deviations to when we're going to do work according to our plan. And again, because the Takt plan is so visual, it allows you to do that, but you have to be using that Takt plan on a daily, weekly basis. So that's my message to superintendents and foremen, is that this has to be an active information system, visually used constantly so you can see deviations. Number three, your make-ready look-ahead schedules. That's 6 weeks. And I've done a podcast on this, and I hope it's helpful. We have to make sure that we're having really good conversations in that window and asking people if the work is ready, but not just asking them, helping them to visualize it, have conversations about it, feel it, taste it, sense it, experience what's around it, and have deeper, more meaningful conversations with our trade partners. And when we do so, we will know in that 6-week window if we have any roadblocks, if they need to be removed. And so any part, any good tax plan, any good schedule, any good make-ready look-ahead system will utilize that 6-week make-ready look-ahead for not only the alignment of required on-job dates for procurement, equipment, and information, but also to make sure that we're identifying and removing roadblocks. The other thing that I love to use with a Takted system are roadblock maps. These are the maps that I've talked to you about before. They're in Bluebeam. They have polygons, and they have a status in there that will identify different tax wagons within the tax plan and match the tax plan colors for the tax wagons, so that you can change the color of any room and see the status as you're going through the floors. And then also with a red texted leader, mark where there are roadblocks on the map, or there are changes on the map, or there are disconnected or detached areas on the map because of changes. And this allows everybody to see where work is happening in sequence according to the plan, and where it's been detached, and where we may be nimble for an owner, or where a roadblock may affect us in the future. And allows us to visually go through those maps in every meeting that we have and remove roadblocks ahead of time. That's a key part of our roadblock removal system. Now, the other thing is removing roadblocks. If we have, this might sound redundant, but it's not. I added a sticky there for it, because when you have those visual maps and these roadblock lists, and the team really is gathering that information from the afternoon foreman huddle and the morning worker huddle, the next question I have is the project superintendent, project manager, and project executive, project director, general superintendent addicted, like they would be addicted to heroin, meaning it's the first thought on their mind? And I'm not trying to be irreverent about that. I don't think it's funny, but I do want to at least use something tragic as a good example to do good things. Meaning I want them addicted, chemically addicted to coming in. First thing that they see is that roadblock board, and then lean in and help to clear the way. So actually taking the time to remove the roadblocks is key. Now, the other thing, this next tag that I have on the Miro board, and by the way, you can access all of this on our Miro board. The next thing that I have on here is managing buffers. And so, yes, we know how to use them. Yes, we know that we need to use them, but do we keep a proportional amount of buffers, and do we keep track of them so that we have a good amount of buffers up into at the end of the project, and that we don't get cut short or we don't run into problems? And so a really good roadblock removal system will make sure that we're managing buffers, projecting that with a risk analysis, meaning that we have plenty of buffers to absorb our projected risks, and that we're heading in a direction where we feel like we have a good amount of predictability. So that's really my focus for that item there. And I really feel like that's a key component to what we're talking about. So bottom line is, tax planning does not work unless we have a remarkable roadblock removal system. And so I highly recommend this to anybody and everybody using tax planning, and I hope it's helpful on the go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.